I'll just be clear right off the bat that this is a video about selling a car to Carvana. I did not buy a car from them, nor did I do a trade-in. This is a straight up selling a car straight to Carvana. So I'm about halfway through the process right now. So at this point, I'm going to tell you guys what it's been like up to this point, and then I'll document the rest of the process, which is dropping off the vehicle and getting paid. So I've just finished the process of getting my appraisal from them and going through the process of uploading all my documents. So I just scheduled my appointment to meet up with them, and I'm meeting up with them on Monday. Today is Friday. So it's been a smooth process so far. So I'll walk you through what we've done. So what I'm actually selling is this 2016 Mercedes right here, and the amount they're giving me is $16,954. But to show you guys what the process is like, what I went through to get that, I'm going to use one of my other vehicles here and go through the process. So first of all, it really helps to have your license plate number or your VIN, your vehicle identification number, and that's because when you put those in, it pre-populates a whole bunch of information. You do need to have some other information though about trim levels and if you have premium features and that kind of stuff. So luckily for my vehicle here, I still have the sheet that was the window sticker, so it has all the features and everything. So it's good to have this info because when I kind of went through the first time doing my first vehicle here, the Mercedes, I was just kind of guessing. But then when I actually went to the window sticker, the appraised value went up because I missed some features. It went from $15,900 to $1,000 more to $16,900. So it pays to get everything exactly right when you're getting this appraised. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the VIN on here. If you don't know where your VIN is, it's usually on the dashboard way up on the front where the windshield kind of meets the dashboard. You look through the windshield on the driver's side, and that's usually where a VIN is. It's the easiest spot to find it. So I'm going to put my VIN in here. VIN is in. Now I'm just going to get my offer. So as you can see, because I put the VIN in, they already have a bunch of information about it pre-populated, which is great. It's going to save some time here. The trim, I know that this is a work truck pickup. That's the trim level on it. I'm going to hit that. Next. So as I mentioned, I'm not trading in. I'm purely selling here. This was just a selling experience. The mileage is at about 58,000 on that one. So let's do that. Put in a zip code. The color is blue. It is automatic, confirmed. Now this is where, if I left this as two-wheel drive, it would surely appraise lower. So this is where it pays to know all the features. I know it's four-wheel drive. I know that this has the V8 5.3. This is important stuff to know. And again, you could find this on your window sticker. Otherwise, you might have to do some research. Next. All right, this is where you would add other features that you know it has. So refer to your window sticker or literally go out to your car and confirm that it has any of this stuff. Now, this is a very basic and stock work truck, so it doesn't have any premium features, any of this stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead through and hit next. It has not been in any accidents, no issues that would stop you from driving it. It does not have any lights on. There's nothing mechanically wrong with it. No modifications. Now, damage, this is kind of subjective, right? Like I know that it has a few scuffs and scratches. The paint is fine. It doesn't have any significant dents. Dings, maybe. So I'm going to be safe and just hit dings there. It has a little rust on the frame, so I'll put that in there. And then you could put some details in here. The interior, nothing beyond kind of normal wear and tear. Never been smoked in, just okay. I do have 2+ keys, and I do not have a loan or lease. So I don't know what the process would be like if you did have a loan or lease. I think Carvana does not take trade-ins if you have a lease, or does not buy your car from you if there's a lease on it, unless you pay it off. So for my case, though, I'm just doing neither for my experience. One other thing to add here, I did get appraisals from other car buying services that compete with Carvana. Vroom is probably the other most popular one. But as you can see, their offer was significantly less, almost $4,000 less than Carvana's. The other thing is that Vroom took about 3 days to get me an appraisal, whereas Carvana was instant. And then within 20 minutes, I had the whole process done. Vroom was $4,000 less, and it took them like 3 days to even get me an appraisal. I also went through some other appraisals. CarMax didn't even, they're not close enough to us here in Vermont. They didn't even give me an offer. And I went through some other ones, but Carvana was far and above the best offer out there. So here's the offer. Now, I know for a fact that this is a low offer. Like, I could definitely sell this truck privately and get more than 4,202. But for Carvana, they tend to do more like newer cars that are within the last 5 years and don't have a ton of miles on it. So this being an older vehicle, it's not very valuable to them. But my 2016 Mercedes was valuable. I've owned that car for 2 years. I'm the second owner. And granted, we're in a different time right now. We're about 2 years into the pandemic as well, and used cars are really hard to find. So I think Carvana is offering a premium. But that car, they're actually paying me more than what I bought it for 2 years ago. I bought it just before the pandemic hit, which is the primary reason I'm selling it now, because I'm getting a great offer on it. So if this was a newer car, I'm sure it'd be a better offer. But for a 2007, this is their offer. So anyway, it's time to go continue through the process. So if you wanted to accept the offer, and it does expire 7 days later, but I did my appraisal several times over the last few months, and they kept refreshing it, and it was basically the same offer the whole time. So it does expire after 7 days, but you can just kind of click refresh on it. All right, you'll put in your state. It does not have a loan or lease. I'm just selling it. Here you go. So I did this actually all on my phone, but I'm showing you guys on the desktop just so it's a little bigger and easier to see. But I did it all on my phone, and it was really easy. So you have to upload a photo of your odometer. When you click upload, they'll give you an option to just take a photo right with your phone, right up to your odometer, snap that picture. You then have to snap a picture of your title, which every state's title looks different, but they look like official looking certificate things like this. You need to snap a picture of the front and back of that and upload those. And then same deal with your driver's license, front and back of that. Now, after you go through that process, they'll then ask you how you want to get paid. You can either get paid with a paper check right there when you meet up with the driver who's picking up your car. They'll just hand you over a paper check. Or you can do an ACH direct deposit into your checking account, but that takes 1 to 2 days. So I decided to just get the paper check right there, and I'll go right to the bank. And then the last part of it is to schedule your appointment. So I'm in southern Vermont, and there's no pickup points here, but the closest one isn't too far away. It's about 35 miles away in Massachusetts, just down over the border. So I'm meeting them in a Home Depot parking lot, which is kind of funny. And it's Friday right now. And after I clicked how I want to get paid, I got a text. It said like, oh, it might take 1 to 2 days to figure out like when we can schedule an appointment. I got a text literally like 10 minutes later being like, all right, we're all set. Everything's approved. Like, when do you want us to meet? And I could literally meet with them tomorrow, but it's more convenient for me to go down on Monday. So this is Friday. 2 days later, I get to go down and meet up with them. So that has been the process up until this point. I will keep documenting from here how it goes with the car getting picked up and getting paid. All right, pulling into the Home Depot. It's 9:17 right now. My appointment's not till 9:30, so a little bit early. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna take off my license plates here. So the Carvana person arrived, and they're not on the truck. It's just somebody in a Subaru. I just signed paperwork. I had to sign a bill of sale. I signed a document giving Carvana power of attorney to sign for the car, the transfer of ownership. I signed an odometer reading disclosure. The odometer reading didn't have to be an exact. They said they give you up to 1,000 miles over what you reported when you first entered it onto Carvana.com. And now she is taking pictures, checking the odometer. and processing the paperwork. All right, it's a few days later after meeting up with Carvana and doing the transfer, and I gotta say, man, it was a pretty awesome experience. Having sold, a handful of cars in the past through private sale and trading into dealership, I gotta say, I think this one is at the top. The whole interaction when Carvana showed up in the parking lot, from the moment she showed up till I got in the car to drive away in the other car, not the one I sold. It took about 15 minutes, so it was really fast. And I did wash the car right before I got there. I wanted to make sure that she could inspect it to see that it didn't have any big dents or anything. But she kind of just walked around the outside. She was not really scrutinizing. She kind of barely did like a full check on the outside. I didn't clean the interior at all. I took all my stuff out, but like I didn't vacuum or do any cleaning or anything. So I was a little worried about that, but she didn't say anything about that. Um, After signing the necessary paperwork, she handed me a check right there. So I walked away with two things: a check, which here's the check right here, um, and the other thing they gave me was a purchase agreement, which has some details, 2 pages. I'll put that up here too. I'll leave this up so you can read through it if you want. If you want to pause the video to read through it. Um, but I took the check directly to the bank and it cleared the next day. So no worries there. I asked her what happens to the car next, and she said it'll stay in that parking lot for probably a day before the actual Carvana flatbed comes and picks it up. And then it's probably going to end up at a processing facility in Boston, she said, or in New Jersey, where it'll get detailed and photographed and then put up for sale on Carvana. She said that would probably take about 2 weeks to a month before it goes up for sale on Carvana. So yeah, overall, it was a really great experience. I think if you have a newer car, because as we saw, they don't really, they don't give top dollar for older cars. But I think if your car is 6 or 7 years or newer, and I think is below 100,000 miles, that when I compared, I went to a dealership and see what they would give for a trade-in. It was $11,000. Vroom was going to give me 13. CarMax wouldn't even give me an offer. And then in the end, Carvana gave me almost 17,000. So they gave by far the best price. So overall, really happy with it.